All right, we're live. Welcome back to our daily live feed. As you guys are logging on, as always, if you'd like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. We'll give it a few minutes for everybody to get logged on. Say hello when you get here. If you're going on Instagram, over on YouTube, we do have the chat feature up, and we also have our screen sharing for this evening. So we're doing a BSPN night tonight where we are previewing this weekend's shows, and there are several of them. So we're going to go through and kind of give predictions and thoughts and all that kind of stuff. So welcome, you guys. Welcome. Hello. Yes, say hi as you jump on here. What's up, guys? We always give it a few minutes just for everybody to get the notifications so that you know that we're live. Go subscribe on YouTube and you will get notified when we do go live. Also, you get a notification 30 minutes before we go live. I figured out a bunch of new stuff for the Restreaming app as well. So every time, like every week, I figure out some more fun features. So I'm playing with them. And if you missed it last night, so last night we had our live stream with a bunch of our speakers from Cuties Conquering the Stage. Yep, new ticker. Yep, we figured that out. I figured that out yesterday. I'm about to switch it out actually at the moment. But we had our live feed with a lot of our speakers from Cuties Conquering the Stage for this year. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And it was a very good, fun live. And we still have some early bird tickets left. So go click that link in my bio. Make sure you grab your ticket. The weekend is in January for Martin Luther King weekend. It's a 3-day event, so make sure you're there. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out, but also go watch that replay of the live stream from last night because it actually probably answered a lot of your questions about topics we're going to cover, the experience that our speakers have, what the event, the whole vibe of the event, the whole thing, what it's all about. And, you know, spoiler alert, it's female empowerment. So I'm glad you guys liked it last night. We had a lot of interaction, which was awesome. I love seeing that when people are getting involved. And there were a ton of questions that were sent in. We answered a bunch of them. The ones that were not answered are all being taken note of. We do build our I was going to say criterion. That's the wrong word. We build our content for the weekend based upon what you guys want to learn. So we always take your feedback and your questions. We take them seriously because we want to be able to build an educational environment that you are going to thrive in. So that's what it's all about. So if you haven't bought your ticket yet, you need to. So welcome, guys. Welcome. All right, so now we are going to get into the actual topic of this evening. I'm going to get rid of these tickers and chat box and all that kind of fun stuff here. How do I get rid of it? There we go. Okay, so we actually have several shows this weekend. We're going to preview 2 of them. I'm going to touch on the one that's going on in Mexico because most of the girls there, I don't know. But there's a couple of names, both on the bikini and the wellness, that are pretty big names. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up, share the screen here for you. Okay, hang on. Thank you on the lipstick comment. I appreciate that. I think this is it right here. Make sure I got the right window that I'm going to be sharing with you before I share something that I don't want to share. Let's see. Yes, this is it. Okay. So it is here. Okay, so we have the Shrew, is that what it's called? It's not Shrew. What it is? I guess it is. Shrew, it's the Shrew Classic Mexico. I always think of Shrew Classic as being the one that they have in India. Anyway, I just realized that my screen is the same as it was when we had the ladies on last night. There we go. Now I see why. Okay, settings. You guys, I'm figuring out all these things, but man. Okay. Here we go. Okie doke. So this is done in Mexico, and there is a decent number of competitors, both in bikini and wellness, but a lot of them, I'm not sure of them too much. Some of them are brand new pros as far as the wellness is concerned. I did look all of them up. I kind of narrowed it down to 2 people on both wellness and bikini to be looking at. So to start with wellness, I would look at Judy and Winston, which she just took. I think she took second at Legion, right? If I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure I say that right. Get her placing correct. Yes, she was second at Legion. So I would say she'd probably be one to be watching for. And again, with Legion, there's a ton of pictures. So I'm going to try to get to a good front shot of her. Pull that up. Well, we've got almost a quarter turn here. So you can see, so the Legion show, if you go click through the photos, as you can see, there's 15 pages of photos. So it's a lot of photos for you guys there at Legion. I'm trying to get to her fully posed front pose here. You could literally put these in order and do like a flip book if you wanted to. This one's pretty good right here. Let's go with this one right here. Let's do this one. There we go. Okay, so I would consider her to be one of the front runners of this Mexico show, especially just coming off of second place at Legion. She has a great shape and all that, good conditioning, all of that. I believe, I'm trying to remember what her back shot looked like. Again, I got to go through all these photos. Yeah, I remember talking about her and saying that she just needs to add a little bit more size in general on her lower half. Because her upper half is pretty well balanced with her lower half. So I would say just some size in general on the lower half. She's got good conditioning and all of that going in. She probably needs to be a touch tighter. But I would say just as general critique, general feedback, her lower half just needs to be a little bit bigger. Because especially when you look at that front shot, you can see how she's balanced, meaning it's almost like she's, like a figure competitor, that kind of thing. So she's got a pretty well balanced upper body with her lower body. So upper body needs to come down a touch, the lower body needs to come up a bit. But again, I think she's going to be a threat for this show. And then I also pulled up this other girl who I'm honestly not too familiar with, but with that said, Joy and Wellness is absolute character. I looked up Joy and I couldn't find pictures for her. So I'm guessing because it's a pro debut. I don't really like to share too much on pro debuts because I don't like to put pressure on pro debuts, if that makes sense. So I was looking for her photos, but I couldn't find them. So maybe she just has her name in there differently as her past shows or whatever. But I also have this girl on my list. And again, I've never seen her actually compete, Danielle, but she took third here at this Brazil show, and she's beautiful. Got a really beautiful look, and you can see her wellness frame is very, very good. So let me show you her front shot. So here's her front shot. So you can see just by looking at her versus what we were just looking at with Judy. And so she doesn't have those big capped shoulders like Judy and Winston does. And she's much thicker here through the glutes and the legs. I actually think this is a really good wellness frame right here. Let's take a look at her backside. And I can't tell if it's just the lighting for this show. To me, it almost looks like she needs to be a little bit more conditioned, but it could just be the lighting as well. I don't know what her feedback was at the show. Let me take a look at, I want to just look at the show wasn't very big. Let me look at the whole lineup here. Yeah, they don't have any comparison shots. So, but the girl that won this, it was funny because Devin sent me this picture and she's like, she looks like me. I'm like, yeah, she does. She looks just like Devin. So it could be sisters, like literally same look, same frame. This is a girl that won that show right here. So I don't think that the conditioning was a problem. Now that I'm looking at her, she looks like she could be a little bit more conditioned too. I think it was just the lighting of the show. I don't think it was the actual competitors themselves, just in these particular shots. But you can see here, very thick through the legs, the quads, the glutes, all of that. These are your Brazilian girls here in wellness, you guys. Those Brazilian girls are next level, right? So, but anyway, those would be my top two for that particular show. And And then for bikini, one of the girls I brought up for bikini was Lizzie Martinez, because she's coming off of a second place finish in Minneapolis. Let me find a good front pose of her. This is another shot. We have quite a few pictures. So let me get a good front shot of her. We talked about her a little bit as far as she just needed to fix a few posing tweaks and things like that, which she did do for this show, which paid off for her. She still got some things to tweak and to fix. Like she's still tilted a little bit in this front pose, needs to come up a little taller, that kind of thing. I feel like she's pushing a little bit too much here, that kind of thing, but very minimal things. And I'm wondering if we go through it. Yeah, this is pretty much her. This is her front pose, you know? So if we go through her poses, you can see here, she's not moving. So that is her front pose. So she just needs to tweak that still a little bit, which is easily done, you know? And then she did tweak her back pose from the previous show that I mentioned when we wrapped up that show. She was showing her legs too much at the last show, and then she fixed that back pose for this Minneapolis show. Let me find a posed shot. Here it is. Okay, so here's her back shot. So she did fix this to make it less leg heavy. She was very leg heavy in the previous show, which I think was this Texas show, if I'm not mistaken. She still needs some fullness in the glutes, that kind of thing, but this is a very good back shot. If she pushes a little bit more up, I think that might help, might make her waistline a little bit smaller, might make this fill out just a little bit more. So there's still just a few little tweaks she needs to make with her back pose here. Oops, sorry, but very good, very good. So I think she's going to be a potential at this show. But if I had to be a betting woman, then I would go for Ellie Fernandez. So the pictures that came up on NBC News were from the UK Arnold. So let me pull up here. She is already qualified for the Olympia. She won the DC Pro-Am. And Ellie always has a pretty consistent look, meaning she's going to be in the top call-out regardless. And just a matter of if she comes in tight enough, if she's going to be in a winner's circle or if she's going to be outside of that winner's circle. So I think at this show, if I'm not mistaken, she was fourth. I think that she placed fourth, right? Let me see. To me, she needed to be a little bit tighter. Oh, NBC News is spinning on me again. It was doing this to me earlier when I was trying to pull up pictures to do research. It's driving me crazy because I couldn't get through to the wellness girls, so I can't get back. The actual NBC News Online itself is spinning, so not doing anything for me. So we won't bet on her actual placing, but I think it was fourth. And then she went into a show after that, still in Europe, and she didn't place very well in that show, and I'm not sure why. I haven't seen any photos. I haven't really looked either. So I feel like she was outside of the top 5, which is odd because she's not ever outside the top 5. I could be wrong on that too. But again, NBC News is like spinning right now, so I can't get it to go and even confirm what I'm trying to look at. So, but again, she tends to be in the top 2, top 3, that kind of thing. So I would guess going into this show that she is probably going to be your winner. Has a really good shape, really good flow. And again, just has to be paying attention to her conditioning. If her conditioning is on point, she's right there. She can sometimes be a little bit too soft. She can sometimes be a little bit too hard. So she's got to be just right, like the 3 bears. She's got to go right down the middle and be just right. Then she's really hard to beat. So again, I think the UK Arnold, she was just a touch too full. Which again, she's a smaller competitor too. She's very short. So if she comes in too full, she looks big when she's standing next to girls like Jordan, who is one of the taller girls, right? So she just has to be careful with her overall fullness and conditioning level. But I would guess that she's probably going to be your winner at this show. That would be my 2 cents. So that is Mexico. Let's move to get rid of all these tabs. What's this one? Let's move to San Antonio next. So the next 2 shows, San Antonio and Hurricane, the lists aren't huge, but there's a lot of women on these lists that have been placing really well in the last couple of months. So this is how people tend to, play their season, right? They play their season around a couple of months, like 2-3 months, where they're going to hit a bunch of shows. And they're going to increasingly get better, or they're not. It's one of the two. So we've got a few people on this list that have been hitting top fives and been increasingly getting better. So I do think that this show is kind of up in the air as far as who could end up winning this. But I have my picks. I pulled out, as you can see up there, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 people I pulled out here. So, just going down the list here, we've got Deanna Dang. So Deanna just placed 5th at Titans. We just talked about her just a couple of days ago. She's the one that I mentioned that I felt like she was a little bit thin. She got great shape, teeny tiny little waist, all of that. She just needs to add some size in general. Really, really good glutes. Again, really great shape from the front. But she looks a little bit thin. Excuse me. Almost like she's dieted too much. You can see it here a little bit. She needs to fill out her shoulders here a bit. She's just a little bit thin right through here. And the same thing in her glutes. Like you can see she's got these big glutes back here, but they just need to be a little bit fuller, right? You need to pop up here. You need to fill out a little bit. Again, another beautiful girl in really good shape. She just needs to fill out her frame. And then if we look at her back, let me pull a back shot up. Here we go. Again, really great frame. She just needs to fill it out. So these are really, really good, like great genetic shape, great roundness to them and stuff. She just needs more of it. Same thing with her legs. Her legs look real thin here. So she just needs to fill all this out. But she could be a potential at this show. And then I have next on the list is Lana. So Lana has just come off of 2nd place at Legion. Legion was a better look for her for sure than what she had at DC Pro, or I'm sorry, not DC Pro Am. Ben Weider went back to the red suit, which was the right call in my opinion. Just needs to fill out again. There's a few things that I would change about her posing and things like that. I think that's her full front pose. Yeah. That's her full on front pose. So it's probably a better one. She's got her eyes open. A few things that I would change here is I would push back more in the hip here a little bit. I would take this hand and pull it down a little bit. But in general, she's another one that just needs to fill her frame out. She's got a beautiful, beautiful look. She's got that it factor. You can't not look at her, that kind of thing. And so she's going to be a threat. She's going to be in the top call out in pretty much any show she goes into. But I think she just needs to continue to work and fill out this frame. Needs some more shoulder, just needs a little bit more glute pop, that kind of thing. But she could definitely be in the hunt for the win at this particular show. And I do think she's going to be in the top 5. Let me pull up a back shot of her. Let's see. Let me see what we got. This is that show where we got a ton of pictures. So give me a second to pull up a back shot. Here we go. One thing with her that I've mentioned before that I was very happy about is that she changed her suit bottoms. At the beginning of the season, she was wearing the micro cut, which came up real high right here and showed her tailbone and all of that. It just made her glutes look really shallow. But you can see here she needs to be tighter through this hamstring, tie in here, and she needs some more fullness on the upper outer glute and a little bit more fullness out on the shoulders here. And that's just going to come with time. That's just going to come with muscle maturity and getting under the weights and some food and things like that. So we'll see what she looks like when she comes in at this show. Again, I do think she's going to be in the top call out. It's going to be a matter of where she lands. As far as what she should change from the Legions, from this look into this coming show, I would try to see if you can come in a little tighter through here, a little tighter through the hamstrings. But it's going to be hard because you want to keep those glutes full. You don't want to come in too tight where you're going to lose the glutes. Because, like when we're talking about the next couple of girls that are coming up, she's going to need that fullness, right? So let's pull up our next girl, which is Liana Gianna Moore. So she just came off of 3rd place in, here we go, at the Titans this past week. And again, full as can be, muscular as can be. She's like, if you could take the muscle from her, take a little bit off of it and put it onto Liana, Or Lana, sorry, I'm gonna get the two names mixed up throughout this because they're so close. If you can take a little bit of muscle from her and put it onto Lana, then we'd be good to go, right? Now the thing with Liana Gianamore is she does have to pull these legs down a little bit and streamline those out. But again, she doesn't want to lose that glute fullness. She's still got to build some glutes too. Same thing. She's got some glute fullness she needs to build here as well. She's got some great shoulders and things like that here. But where my eye goes to with her as far as what she needs to improve is streamlining the legs and popping the glutes. I hope she goes back to her red suit, or, you know, actually, like I was saying before, I like the cut of this black suit, but I like the color of the red. So I don't know what she's going to do for this particular show. She's probably going to do the black, depending on what her feedback was. I'm wondering if she got any feedback from the judges about the black suit at Titans. We'll see. But from the back, let's pull her up. Here we go. So from the back, she's always tight from the back. So this is what we're talking about here. She's tight through those hamstrings. She's got the conditioning part. That part's not a problem for her. The conditioning part is never going to be an issue for her. Where she's going to always have to straddle that line is pulling the legs down and popping the glutes out. So she needs some more fullness to those glutes, needs less fullness to the legs. So we'll see what she does to change her look up at this particular show, but I do think she's going to be a potential winner at this show as well, depending on how she brings in her shape and her frame. And the next one we have is Kaylin Long. So Kaylin was just top. Let's see what her placing was. I don't remember. Oh, again, NBC News is spinning, so I can't get her exact placing. Sorry, guys, but she was also in the top call out here at Legion. This was her second pro show, and she did better. She looks better at this show than she did at her pro debut. She filled her frame out a little bit. Great shape here. She still needs some more muscle. She just needs, for her specifically, she just needs another layer of muscle on everything. Like, this is a really good frame, but just everywhere, she just needs to be a little bit thicker and a little bit denser, right? So, but this was a pretty big improvement from her last show, especially in her upper body. So we'll see what she does at this particular show. I can see her being a potential dark horse at this show, coming out with a win, if she hits it right with her shape. Let me see. Let me pull up a back shot for her. Here we go. Because from the back, she has really, really good shape from the back. Really great shape from the back. But again, just needs to be a little bit denser. Like, once she's got that extra level of density here and fullness, she's going to be a threat on any stage that she goes on. But this is a phenomenal glute and hamstring shape for her right here. And then also her waistline is so tiny from the back that her shoulders really pop. So that's a really good shape right here. So we'll see what she looks like coming into the show. But again, she could be an upset right there, potentially. And then we have Alexandria Ross, who for me, I would say would be probably the odds-on bet to win. Mainly because she just took second place this past week at Titans Grand Prix. And it was a significantly better look than what she had at her first show this year. What was it? Somebody help me out with the names. I'm not going to go back to it because of the site not working. But yeah, she would be my odds-on favorite to win here. If she comes in the same shape, comes in with the same look, comes in with the same conditioning and fullness, she'll likely win this show, I think. Let me see. She's one of, like I said, this is kind of her MO. She waits until the end of the season to come and start doing her season, and then she ends up winning a show. I mean, that's kind of what she does almost every year, man. Like, she's won some big shows. She's won Chicago and things like that. And that's just kind of what she does. She warms up a couple shows and then she comes out and wins. So, you know, I think she's just getting warmed up here. So I do think that she would be the odds-on favorite to win at this particular show. And she did, and again, she looked much fuller here and rounder in the glutes. Thank you. I've gotten a few compliments on my makeup. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's very light makeup other than the lips. The lips are what I think everybody likes. It's you gotta have that one statement piece, right? The lips. But with her, one of the things I mentioned with the wrap up on this show is I would change the positioning of her suit bottoms. She needs to pull them up in the front on her hip bone a little bit more and pull them up a little bit more in the back. And that would really help her get some more fullness to the glutes and balance her frame out a little bit better. So we'll see what she does at this show. But I would say that she would be the favorite to win at this particular show. Let's go to the last one I pulled up for this show, which is Marcella Taylor. And I think she could be kind of that unexpected one that comes out because she did do her pro debut at San Antonio and placed in the top. Again, I can't pull up the placings because it's not letting me, but she did end up in that first call out. I think she was 7th, if I remember correctly. Good look. I would say maybe her critique, I'm not sure what critique she got, but it may have something to do with her stomach. I would like to see a little bit more definition here. Now, when we're talking about definition, I'm not talking about 6-pack. Like, we don't need to have a 6-pack or anything like that, but I'd just like to see maybe a little bit more tightness. It's almost like she's got a little distension right here. So that could be hormonal, it could be whatever she ate that day, whatever, but I just like to see that a little bit tighter there. I was totally digging the makeup look too. Didn't want to be a creeper. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. You all make me feel good tonight. I like it. I'm like, you guys. So just so you know, I literally got back from the gym and just touched it up. I'm live with you guys. So y'all are making me feel real good right now. Appreciate it. But I think Marcella has a great look. So she could be a potential dark horse here in this show and kind of come out. I could see her in a top 3 position. Let me look at her back shot here. Yeah, I think in general, this last look that she had was just a little bit depleted. And that's what I'm getting even from this back shot here. Like she's got really good glutes and hamstring ties and stuff, but to me, this looks a little bit over dieted. So if she fills out a little going to the show and gets herself a little bit more pop, it could be good. It could be really good. So she just needs a little bit more fullness here. And again, that probably she has been dieting for a while. She did the North Americans, won the overall there. So it could just be a matter of her body just was like, okay, we've been dieting too long. So, that can be fixed with just a couple of weeks of break and some extra food. So we'll see what she does coming into this show. But she could be a potential dark horse here coming into this one. Okay. And we talked about San Antonio, so there's that. Here we go. Okay, so we have Hurricane is our last show here. Oh, we got a spam. How do I get rid of you? Bye. Okay. That's a first. Locked you. Okay. Anyway, just got some random, yeah. There we go. Beautiful. We got rid of the spam bot. Okay. This is live, you guys. All righty. So we are on to Hurricane. So this is going to be one that's going to be interesting. We have a few girls here that have won shows already that are Olympia qualified. So I'm guessing they're starting to warm up for the Olympia, trying to get some more feedback before they go into the Olympia, getting in front of these judges, that kind of thing. So we may see somebody new come out and win. That's real quick. No time. Yeah, exactly. No time. We got no time for that bull crap. No time for the spam box. So anyway, I'm like lost on what I was going to say. We have a few girls here that could potentially come in and win it, but I think if I was a betting woman, I'll tell you who I think is going to win it. So we're going to start at the top though. We got Erin Dennis. So Erin hasn't been on stage for a little bit. She was on stage at the Minneapolis show. It's been a few weeks. This was not a good placing for her, and I think it was just a matter of she was just going show to show, back to back. So but she was top fives in every other show that she did. So I do think she's going to be a threat here at this show. The biggest thing with her is that she's upper body dominant. As you can see when we're looking at this front pose, she needs some more glutes. Her upper body is nice and full and round, which is great, but her lower body doesn't match, right? She needs some more fullness down here on the bottom. And it's not as visible until we turn her to the back. When we turn her to the back is where we really notice that. And I actually mentioned this at one of the shows because I don't think she even fully hit a back pose in her posing routine, which I thought was a really good move on her part, actually, because it is her weakness. So I think she moved through it more than anything else and didn't actually hit, hit it. So I'm looking at this right now to see if we've got a back shot or not. Nope, we do. Okay. Here we go. There we go. So you can see she's wide and full through that upper body. Her upper body is right where it needs to be. Lower body just needs to fill out, right? She's got some good shape here. She just needs some more glute. She can fill this out. Everything else is good. Like, she's in shape. I wouldn't even say she needs to be any more conditioned. I think her conditioning is good. I think her pop is good for her size, but she just needs more size in general. So this could be just a little bit depleted because she's done a few shows in a row, that kind of thing. So who knows what she's going to look like when she comes back on. She could end up being fuller and rounder. We'll see. Let's move on. Next on that list is Brittany. So Brittany Hamilton, she did just win San Antonio. Okay, so we've been talking about San Antonio show a little bit. She was the winner of the show, so she is Olympia qualified. This girl has a really great frame. She's just a little bit over the line when it comes to conditioning. She was fuller at this show than she was the show before, which was Battle of the Bodies. Battle of the Bodies, she was second there, and she was real tight there. Here, she's definitely fuller. But you can see, just even looking at her arm, you can see the vascularity and things like that. So it is very, very lean, very, very conditioned. These lines through her hamstrings and through her quads and stuff, that's very conditioned. This was enough fullness for her in order to win this show. So that was good. She got that fullness here. When at Battle of the Bodies, she was grainy through this area, right? But she got fuller through here. So that, again, that fullness was enough to win this show. Let's pull her back shot up. Here's a back shot. So again, really great shape, but in my opinion, it's too hard, too conditioned, okay? That said, she was full enough to win this show. But in general, when she gets into the Olympia, this look is going to be too hard, right? So she needs to fill this out. Now, the other part of that too is we talked about this at this wrap up of this show, is that the girls were all a little off on their poses because they were on a 20-second time limit for their routines, which I've never seen a time limit like that before for pros, but it didn't allow them to really get into poses correctly. It didn't allow them to get the right shots. So like this pose, if I was her, I'd have it pushed back more, popped up more. But either she didn't get a chance to fully get into that pose, or the photographer didn't have a chance to actually grab that shot. So I'd just like to see her full on back pose. I don't think this one is doing her justice, really. I don't think it's really her back pose. But again, too hard here for the Olympia. For this show, it was enough. For this show, it was enough to win. Going into the Olympia, she's going to need to soften up. So we'll see what she does for this show. I'm sure going into this particular show, the Hurricane, she's doing it to test those things, right? She's doing it to test those looks. So let's see. Now I pulled up Miss Shanika for our next person on this list here because she's one of our girls that's competing. So I wanted to always give our girls a shout out here as well. Shanika is one of our Pro Performer Promise winners, won her pro card last year. This was a brand new red suit that we did for her for this show, and it was a phenomenal look on her. So I had to give Miss Shanika a little shout out going into the show. She showed me a few of her poses this morning to get a few posing critiques going into it. And I'm looking forward to seeing the critiques I gave her being implemented. So this is going to be a fun show to watch for that particular purpose right there alone. So good luck, Shanika. I know she was on our IG for a minute. I don't know if she's on here anymore. We've been on here for a while. So there There we go. I'll highlight that for you right there. There we go. Okay. And next is the one I think is likely our winner. So that is Ashlyn. So the last time that Ashlyn was on stage was Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, she was first called out at Pittsburgh, which for those of you that don't know, Pittsburgh is a tier 2 show. It's a very difficult show. She had come off of 4 wins. And then went into Pittsburgh. Her body at that point was a bit tired, but she wanted to get up there because she wanted to get next to the other girls on that stage that she was going to have to get up next to on the Olympia stage, right? And kind of put herself into the fire so that she could see what she needed to work on going into the Olympia. So she's been off stage since May, right? She has not been on stage since May. Her previous shots that she's been posting on Instagram look phenomenal. She looks like she's rested, she's full, she's round, all of that. She's got great proportion, great shape. Again, in this particular show, I don't think this was her best. I think she was a little depleted. She's a little tired, again, after doing so many shows in a row. I think it was 6 shows she did total, and she won 4 of them. But I think we're going to see a much improved Ashlyn coming into the show this weekend, especially after seeing what we've been seeing on Instagram and all of that with her previews and her progress. Trying to find a back shot. There's only one back shot. Let me pull it up. Here it is. This is another back shot. I don't think she's fully posed in this one. But yeah, she's got a great look to her back shot. This particular shot, and again, the lighting at this show doesn't do these girls justice either. But she was a little soft here. So I expect her to come in on point at this show this weekend, and I do think she's going to be your winner, just based on her history and based on her physique and based on the way she's looking right now. And we also I have pulled up Alice. So Alice is a brand new pro. She's one that she did pretty well in her first show there. She's I think she just made her pro debut this year. I think right before the Legion show. Her biggest issue, Alice's biggest issue, is her posing. So she was the one that what show was it? It was Nevada State. I think it was Nevada State was the one I'm talking about, where she made her pro debut, and she really, really overposed at that show. This for Legions was toned down. So this is a toned down front pose for her based on what she did the show before this. This is still too much. She's still way too pushed to the side with this waistline and tilted. She needs to bring this open a little bit and kind of relax a little bit more. But I mean, look at that shape there, man. That V to her, and that's ridiculous. This is like Jessica Rabbit proportions right here. This is cartoon at its best right here. So if she comes into this show and she has fixed her posing, she's going to surprise some people. She's really going to surprise some people if she can fix her posing coming into this show. Let me see what her back shot looked like at this show. We didn't look at her when we did the wrap up because she was outside of the top 5. Here we go. Yeah, her proportions are just crazy. But again, her back pose needs some work too. Her elbows are out too much. She needs to arch a little bit differently than what she's doing right here. But those are some glutes. Those are some hamstrings. If she can just get it posed right, she's going to be scary. She's going to be scary on this circuit. So she just needs to work on getting those little polish details put together. And she's had a few weeks to do that since Legion. So if she's been able to do that, I don't know. Like I said, she could surprise some people here. She could really surprise some people here. We've got a few girls this weekend that I think could be shockers if they fix little things. If they just fix little things, they're going to shock some people. So with all of that, that's our preview for this weekend. So I'm going to say with Hurricane, we're going to see Ashlyn in that winner's circle. I think that Brittany will likely be second. And then I think it's going to be between Erin and Alice in those 3-4 spots. And then we'll see from there what happens at that point. San Antonio, like I said, I think Alexandria is the odds-on favorite to win. If you're on chat with us, feel free to chat in who you think might be your winners this weekend. I think Alexandria is going to pull it out in San Antonio. And then I think Ellie in Mexico. And I'm writing this down. And for wellness, if I had to guess, it was the Brazilian girl, and I can't even remember her name. Danielle, I think, in Mexico. But there's a lot of girls, like I said, on both of these lists that have been doing pretty decent as far as top fives and first call outs, things like that. And they're just little hairs away from being a potential winner. Just little hairs away from being a potential winner. So, if any one of those little hairs gets fixed, we could have a new Olympic qualified athlete in any one of these shows. In San Antonio, regardless, we're going to get somebody new qualified. Lana and Liana are both fighting pretty hard for points right now. And I think Alexandria is too. I think Alexandria is pretty high on that list for points as well. But yeah, and then in Hurricane, I don't see anybody beating Ashlyn, but hey, I could be wrong. It has happened before. It has happened before that I have been wrong. But usually when a girl comes in after winning 4 pro shows in a year, it's going to be hard to beat her. It's going to be difficult to beat her. So that's just my 2 cents going into this. So type in, guys, what are your goals? What are your thoughts? Who's going to win? Who's going to win these shows? And while we're waiting for some guesses to pop up, as you guys know, Cuties Conquering the Stage tickets, early bird tickets are very, very limited at this point. We only have a few left. So the link for those tickets, if you're on Instagram, it's in our bio. If you're on YouTube, it's in the description box. Click on that link, get yourself your ticket. There are payment plans available for you too, which helps with your budgeting, right? And once you purchase your ticket, we put you into the private Facebook group. You can get together with the girls in there, find roommates, all that kind of stuff, travel buddies. I know some girls are flying in together, that kind of thing. All of those kinds of things that you can start that community aspect of it. The girls are all in there talking and stuff already. So it's going to be a fun time. Oh, I almost forgot. I promised I would tell you guys what that reel was today. I forgot. So I'm going to highlight that. Oh, I can't hit that. Hold on. I was going to highlight that comment because it's being blocked by my logo. Hold on. There you go. Okay. So I forgot. I was going to tell you guys what that reel was that I posted earlier. We had a lot of really good guesses, and actually there was at least one person that guessed it correctly. So let me grab it. Let me grab it real quick. The pattern, yes, it's cheetah. So, it's all right here. It's fabric. So this is what I showed on that reel. And what this is this is the fabric that we'll be using for the custom limited edition posing suits for our CCTS ladies. Look at that. Look at that. It's a matte black with cheetah. So for those of you that don't know, when you come to Cuties Conquering the Stage, I always have an aesthetic built into every year. I start building a specific aesthetic that we kind of market everything around it. So this gives you a little bit of a clue of what this year's aesthetic is going to be based off of. Just a little bit. Yep, you called it. We had a lot of girls that thought it was a posing suit, right? A lot of girls thought it was something special for CCTS, which it is. It's something special for CCTS. Shantae is the one that actually guessed that it was the posing suit for CCTS. I think she's the one that put it all together at once. So, but yes, that's what it is. This is going to be your posing suit right here. Everybody that comes to CCTS, just so you know, you get a whole bunch of exclusive products. So everyone shows up in leopard print. Yes, for the cocktail hour. Yes, I love it. So just get this around your head right here, because this is the aesthetic that we're building everything off of this year. So right here. So that gives you a little bit of a clue. We always let you guys know as we go along stuff that we're doing. So Jennifer's already got a dress in mind. I love it. I love it. But yeah, so if you when you come to Cuties Conference Stage, you get an exclusive posing suit that nobody else gets. You get an exclusive bag that nobody else gets. You get an exclusive warm-up set that nobody else gets. You get a bunch of stuff that nobody else will have. They are 100% custom, created for the event only. So just wrap your head around it right here. You know. So just saying, they're gonna be special, one of a kind, you guys, one of a kind right here. So yeah, we've got some really cool stuff planned for this year. So if you're not in, I don't know what you're waiting for. Just saying, I'm trying to give you the hints. I'm trying to give you the clues right here. I'm trying to tell you ahead of time. We got so many fun things planned. I can't wait to show you guys. I've been working hard at this one this year because we have a whole bunch of other business stuff that is going to be coming up too. That's going to all be kind of launched in the next few months. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun times. So I'm hoping you guys love it. Everything that we're building has been built off of feedback from you guys. So yeah, I'm excited. So you're the subject matter experts. I think you have good points. Yeah. Yes. So with all of that in mind, come join us. It'll be lots of fun. And like Jasmine was saying last night, we didn't even touch on the fun stuff that we do for Cuties Conquering the Stage. Like we do the cocktail hour, like Holly mentioned. We do the girls' night out, go to hookah bar. We do banquets. We have a whole smoothie bars set up. We have tea time. We have all sorts of really fun things planned. Our sponsors come in and do fun things too. Like Massage Hope is one of our sponsors. They do massages the whole weekend. It's a really cool event. So, and you learn a lot of stuff too. But there's a lot of fun stuff that goes along with it too. So yeah. Because I've never worked hard any of they're correct. I never work hard. Never. I suck. But no, really, I do. You guys know this. I start planning from the time that we end one year. I start planning the next. So it's a lot of fun. So with that gives you a little bit of a preview of things to come. We will be releasing lots of little fun things as we go along. Grab your ticket if you haven't already. Like I said, that ticket link is in the bio on Instagram, and it is on the description box on YouTube. Early bird ends on Tuesday. So you've only got a few more days to make this decision for early bird ticket prices, okay? And then it goes up to full price. So I'll be ready for that, okay? And that's it. With that said, we have a Sundays with Sean this weekend, right? I don't even know what the date is. We have a show next weekend. So yes, we have a Sundays with Sean this weekend. So I'm like, we have the Baltimore Masters Pro next weekend, right? Yes. So we have a Sundays with Sean this weekend. So if you're not signed up, sign up. Get you guys in there prior to the last show of this month. And I'll be back on live on Tuesday. We'll be back on live again on Tuesday, and we'll wrap up these shows. We'll have another teaching live that next week, and we'll preview the following week's shows. So back to business, back to business, right? Yes, we do. We sure do. We have a Sundays with Sean this weekend. So come on out. Get that experience under your belt. Take it from me, ladies. I was only able to get a ticket last year because somebody canceled last minute. That's right. You were able to buy one that got let go. So, and aren't you glad you came? Now you're coming again. Now you're hooked. Now you're stuck. You're stuck with us now. So, all right, guys. Have a great rest of your evening. If I don't see you this weekend at the shop, then I will see you back on live here again on Tuesday. And we'll see you then. Okay, I'm going to log off of Instagram first here. There we go. And